We got TP in the end zone. Streamers coming down left and right.
Toilet paper in the end zone. God, I love you, Battlehawks fans, and I'm sorry you're using that toilet paper to wipe away tears. Tears of controversy. We've got controversy outside of the Baywatch movie. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson does not make many mistakes. Unlike the Baywatch reboot, the XFL reboot has worked very well, except for one massive oversight. We now have a 4-win team making the postseason in place of a 7-win team, as the XFL made one poor decision and stuck to divisional records over best overall in a small 8-team league. In doing so, it tragically robbed us fans of what would have been the best matchup for the playoffs by the most popular teams. Today, I'll recap the best and worst plays, players, moments, and whatever from the final season of XFL football here on That's Good Sports. Today's episode is sponsored by Manscaped. Pay attention because we have a special code, a new code, and an important message. April is Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, and I am proud to work with Manscaped, who has been doing this for several years to bring awareness to the most common form of cancer in men ages 15 to 35. Manscaped's mission every April is to not just help guys shave balls, but save balls. And they're doing so with their limited purple edition Lawnmower 4.0. This year, Manscaped is donating $25,000 to the Testicular Cancer Society to help those impacted by it. I'm asking you to self-health check, which you can learn more about at manscaped.com/TCS. That's right, this month I talk about touching your balls, and I'm not joking. And if you don't inspect them yourself, Manscaped's given me permission to come and squeeze your balls myself. Wait, what? Oh, no? Okay, legally I can't say that. Anyway, use my link below for the special Lawnmower 4.0 and my code TCSGoodSports, that's new, TCSGoodSports, to save some balls. Starting with the Defenders versus Brahmas, we've got the best game of the week. With the best luck on the first drive of the game, wide receiver Lucky Jackson broke off a 52-yard catch and run that was followed immediately by a Jordan Ta'amu dart to Alex Ellis for a touchdown. Even following it up with a 2-point conversion in the tightest of window throws. Those are the kind of throws that make me think Ta'amu can do it in the NFL, in addition to being one of the best and also safest passers this season with just 3 picks all year long. Best kick-off return goes to Puka Williams, who puka'd and prodded his way through the Brahmas special teams before a 79-yard return that led to a short field goal for Matthew McCrane. They couldn't punch it in there, but another long catch and run, this time for Chris Blair, would give them a 19-3 lead. My best Frenchman goes to San Antonio running back Jacques Patrick, who scored a pair of touchdowns for the Brahmas in this game. He's been their most consistent player this season and ultimately finished second in rushing yards in the league with 443, trailing only the Defenders' Abram Smith. The first one was set up by a clutch interception by Jordan Williams and a 37-yard toss from Jack Cohn to Landon Akers. Then, after the two teams traded field goals, Jonathan Hillman got in on the action with a 1-yard touchdown of his own. Worst ball security? The Brahmas needed a stop early in the fourth quarter and got it when Luke Barku just ripped the ball away from so Lucky Jackson and stalled what could have been a game-sealing drive for the Defenders. And that gave Jacques Patrick the opportunity to score his second touchdown of the game, giving San Antonio the lead more than halfway through the fourth. We had a ball game, ladies and gentlemen, and my best ball skills goes to Jazz Ferguson, who presumably high on the Jazz cabbage wrestled his only catch of the game away from a San Antonio defender, which put Jordan Ta'amu in range for a quarterback keeper that tied the game. followed by another QB power that gave them the lead. Just call him Jalen Hurts 2.0. The defenders didn't need to win this game, which is why I wasn't surprised that they let the lead slip away, but their grit to eke out the win is a testament for who I think is the coach of the year in Reggie Barlow. This team never quits. Now the Brahmas lost it in dramatic fashion, but this was a very fun, watchable game with postseason implications. Then we've got Battlehawks Guardians getting me demonetized, AJ McCarron.
Everybody in this room is fucking family.
When you're here, you're family.
Energy that they haven't fucking seen all fucking year. Secondary. No fucking fly zone. Yeah. All fucking day. D-line. Dominate up front. All fucking day. Linebackers. Make fucking plays. O-line. They can't fucking stop you. You understand? All fucking day you dominate.
Now before I fillet quarterback AJ McCarron for 4 straight minutes, close your eyes, Brett Musburger. I do want to highlight my best punter throwing a tud. Actually, the Guardians had 3 different guys throw touchdowns in this game. Quarterbacks Quentin Dormady, backup QB DeAndre Francois, who started ahead of Dormady, and yes, punter Mac Brown, who underthrew the prettiest touchdown you'll ever see. But my best individual effort goes to Jordan Thomas doing all of the work on this 84-yard special teams trickety touchdown. Now, just like when Peyton Manning threw 7 touchdowns in a single game, AJ McCarron didn't have a passing touchdown in the first quarter of his 6-touchdown massacre. The avalanche of TDs was started by this Brandon Sebastian pick that set up my best stiff arms, plural, by Hakeem Butler here. And even this first touchdown drive did not result in a passing touchdown for McCarron. Instead, it was a handoff up the gut. Kareem Walkering into the end zone, getting on the board. AJ McCarron's record-setting day really got cooking midway through the second quarter with this dime to Darius Shepard. Now, despite the final score, the game was incredibly competitive for the first half. In fact, Dormady came in and took back the lead after that Battlehawks touchdown, and he converted on the points after. The Guardians were up by 3, had some momentum, but luck was on St. Louis' side for the first time since Kurt Warner was fired from that grocery store for fucking the cantaloupes while on produce duty. Although they might have left that out of the movie, didn't they? Jake Sutherland made the most of his 1 reception, dove into the end zone for the touchdown, and the Battlehawks took back the lead. Then all hell broke loose, and AJ McCarron threw 4 second-half touchdowns, none prettier than this rollout throw to Steven Mitchell, showing some insane tracking and body control here. The line gave McCarron an eternity to throw. The defense had 4 sacks, and not 1, not 2, but 3 picks on the day. And here we are. My best quarterback was hands down AJ McCarron. AJ's been solid all season, and if it weren't for that injury where he missed the games, I think he may have led the league in every passing category. Sorry, dinucci. He was the first quarterback to throw for 6 touchdowns in a single game this season, or in any XFL season. Dormady, if you remember, had 6 total a few weeks ago, but 2 are rushing. AJ also was the first quarterback to throw for more than 400 yards in a game, and his 24 passing touchdowns set a single season record for XFL ball throwers. That's 4 more than Ben Danucci, who finished as the season leader in passing yards, also the leader in picks with 13. But massive congrats, AJ, for setting all those records. Now, I talked a lot about dinucci in the USFL versus XFL video last week, but McCarron's been equally important to this league. Not just because he threw touchdown passes at the same rate that Antonio Brown draws arrest warrants, but because he chose this league so his kids could watch him play football. He literally turned down millions of dollars so his kids could see him do the thing that he is best at. I love that for this league, and the passion draws eyeballs. Also because I can never, ever show my kids the thing I'm best at. Yeah, masturbating. Now the Roughnecks would have a chance to go a perfect 6-0 against the South Division if they could finish strong with the victory over the Arlington Renegades, who, like the Necks, are postseason bound. unlike the Necks, it's kind of by default. Best running back goes to Jeremy Cox, who had a Houston season high for rushing yards with a $120 and a touchdown. If he can do that in 2 more games, the Roughnecks could upset whoever emerges from the North in the XFL championship game. However, it was Cole McDonald getting the start again, who would strike first on the 10-yard read option. Cox and McDonald, that sounds oddly like an ad campaign.
What the fuck? He ate my fucking chicken. Fuck off.
Best toe tap of the week goes to Tyler Vaughns, who went up near the sideline and hauled in this Luis Perez pass before getting not 1 but 2 feet in bounds, showing the NFL that he is indeed familiar with their rule book. Best hit goes to Arlington linebacker Colin Schooler, who took Caleb Ellaby to class with a huge shot in the second quarter. That'll learn you, Caleb. Best pick 6 goes to Tavante Beckett, who saw a Luis Perez pass get tipped, snagged it, and returned it 45 yards to the house, giving the Roughnecks a 2-score lead in the third quarter. Best, thank God he is mic'd up, goes to Cole McDonald on this 39-yard run where we could hear McDonald beatboxing down the field.
Start of the fourth quarter, Houston up 22-9. McDonald, he's the runner. There goes McDonald down the sidelines.
What the fuck?
McDonald was clearly very tired because he followed it up with a pretty bad throw on 3rd and 7 that got picked off and let Arlington back into this game. That is until Luis Perez got sacked by Trayvon Mason. Houston was able to put this thing away and finish the season 7-3, and worst, we'll be seeing this lopsided mismatch against Arlington again this weekend. This time, though, for a spot in the XFL Championship. Cole McDonald is the biggest X factor heading into the postseason for the Roughnecks. He went 10 of 11 passing for a $120 and had 66 rushing yards. That kind of efficient play is hard to defend, but his one incompletion was indeed a pick. Vipers versus Dragons, where the controversy kicked off. Heading into Week 10, the Dragons and Battlehawks had an identical 6-3 record. And there were some interesting tie-breaking rules that would go into effect if both teams won. And yes, being a chill-out team against one of the worst teams in the league is always a win. Now, it was pretty simple in that if the Dragons lost, they were out of the playoffs. But the Battlehawks needed to score 19 more points versus Orlando than Seattle did against Vegas, which they did, but they gave up 28 points, which meant as long as the Dragons kept the lead in total points allowed on the season, they would win the tiebreaker, and their defense was pitching a shutout through the first half of this game, while Ben Danucci scrambled his way into the end zone for their first touchdown. Best practice of enlightenment would be Ja'Cour Pearson taking the top off the defense on this 33-yard TD and then celebrating appropriately. Best back-to-back plays go to Jawan Green, who basically racked up most of his 88 receiving yards and lone touchdown on these 2 incredible plays. Dinucci finished up the Dragons scoring with this corner shot that would be a terrible throw in the NFL, but a perfect dime in the XFL to give Seattle their 28-3 fourth quarter lead. Worst offense, the Vipers. Just 46 rushing yards on the day, and QB Jalen McClendon was one of the least efficient QBs on the entire season after completing just 6 passes on 21 attempts. McClendon does get my dumbest stat, as he did manage 201 passing yards on those 6 completions, which is an insane 33.5 yards per completion. Now the Dragons did give up a late touchdown, a weird Deshaun Jackson too early celebration scenario that popped out of the back of the end zone. I mention this because apparently in the XFL, if you fumble out of the back of the end zone, it's treated like the sideline. So Vegas keeps the ball here, and I can't tell if I love or hate this rule. Part of me thinks Matthew Sexton should, may sound harsh, but have his dick chopped off so he can never sexton again after being this arrogant before actually scoring in a game his team was trailing by 25. The other part of me has never liked the ball going out of the back of the end zone, resulting in a turnover or a touchback, so I'm on the fence, guys, let me know. So, the Dragons are officially in the postseason facing the Defenders, and the Battlehawks are out because of stupid divisional rankings. So the gaffe here by The Rock is the XFL world has been robbed of what would have been an insane game between Seattle and St. Louis in the playoffs, but also the league eliminated its most popular team from the postseason because of this silly decision to base playoffs off of the divisional records instead of the best overall records. Well, I think Seattle is actually a better team than the Battlehawks. I don't think it's by much, and I don't even believe the Roughnecks are better than either of those teams. And I think the Roughnecks are going to destroy the Renegades this weekend in the postseason. Divisional rankings, dumb. Best overall record needs to be the thing moving forward. You took out your most popular team, and you took away what probably would have been the best game of the weekend. Oh, that's hard to swallow, XFL, because everything was going in your favor.